I thought with this month's vlog we'd try something a little bit different, so the main meat of it later on will be an extended look at the frequently asked questions, or more specifically, things that will never be in Empires of the Undergrowth and why. Other than that, we are coming up into event season for Empires of the Undergrowth, very much so. In fact, it should have started by the time this video goes up. I'll go through all the little mini-games and in-game events that are coming up over the next few months. We've also got a little look at the new updated user interface in motion, actually in use in a game. So that's quite exciting that we're coming to the end of that journey. But first, I'll just give a little non-spoiler update about where we are with the upcoming DLC that's been in development for quite a while at this point. So let's start with that. So those of you who have seen our roadmaps will know that a second DLC has been in the works for some time at this point, and we are at the annoyingly awkward stage where plenty of it is done. In fact, the vast majority of it is done, and we are approaching internal testing. But I cannot say exactly what things are included in it, but as soon as I'm allowed to, I will, of course. You know what I'm like. I can't wait to tell you. I really wish I could. Our internal testers are chomping at the bit, ready to get testing on it, but we're not far off letting them get their hands on it, so they'll be giving us some feedback in the fairly near future. We're getting there now, we're getting there, and the testers will soon have something in their hands to give us feedback on. So a few days ago, I asked one of our devs to record some in-game footage of the new updated user interface in action, so let's just have a look at that footage now. It's about a minute long, I'll talk through it as we go. So there you are, you can see this is John playing some 4-1, and you can see there at the bottom the pheromone panel has now retained those bright, colourful graphics. It didn't make sense ultimately to replace them with simplified graphics, so we've kept those in now so that they match the in-level pheromone markers as well, the actual on-the-ground pheromone markers. Everything else though, as you can see, is looking very neat and much more cohesive. And we hope a bit more informative as well, and clear. Oh, look, there's a little glimpse of the updated American Bullfrog as well. That's getting a reskin and some new animations and things. So that's something else that will be coming at the same time as this UI update as well. But yeah, we're really glad that everything's come together nicely now with this UI update. As you can see, it's working. It's just taken a lot of time because Empires is an old project and it has lots of small little fiddly one-off UI elements for individual levels and individual niche mechanics. Yeah, now that we're in December, we are truly into event season for Empires of the Undergrowth, and I know we've had a bunch of people join us through recent sales and such like. Welcome everyone. You may not be aware that there are several special mini-game event levels that start to appear around this time of year. The Festive Spider should be active now. You just need to click the gift that's on the main menu and you'll be taken to this special tower defense level where you need to help the Hungry Spider guard his haul of gifts so that he can make sure every spiderling has a present this year. You'll be fighting hordes of enemies, but you can recruit allies in the form of things like wood ants to pummel down enemies before they take your gifts. You can eat cookies as well to restore your health. And of course, he's the Hungry Spider. You can eat your opponents as well. And then, of course, alongside Festive Spider, we've got the near ever-present Hungry Spider. That level's time to shine was obviously around Halloween and spooky season, but it does pop up every time there's a full moon. And I believe the next full moon will be on the 4th of December. It's a brutally difficult level where you need to upgrade the Hungry Spider's skills to take down an increasingly difficult list of enemies while keeping him fed because he's got some form of metabolic issue, which means he's constantly hungry and he'll perish without your help. This is a really tricky level, but a really rewarding one, and I only finished it last year after 4 years of trying once a year with the support of the community. Thanks everyone who turned up to that stream last year. And then finally, in the new year, when Chinese New Year starts to come around, we will have New Year's Feast. This is a really unique level where you play as a colony of fire ants and you've got to help them gather spices so that the queen can make her New Year's meal, while also rescuing party guests of other ant species. It's one of those less serious levels which really allows us to have fun with the mechanics in the game rather than trying to be too close to reality. It's nice when we can let loose and do that. There's explosive firecrackers as well to really heat things up, and they can send your enemies flying, and at the end of the level there's a very special encounter as well, which I won't spoil if you've not played it before, but keep your eyes out for that around the Chinese New Year season. So in this section of the vlog, I'm going to go through some of the more common frequently asked questions, or you could also name this section things that will never be in Empires of the Undergrowth. This should be useful for people who have joined us fairly recently if you've got some questions about why we've gone a certain route for the game. But I'll go through a few of the most commonly asked questions or suggestions and explain our thought behind it. So the first one is, why is there no multiplayer? And so the first thing to say here is there is no multiplayer and there never will be any form of multiplayer in Empires of the Undergrowth. The reason is, at this point, the game is deeply unsuited, I think, and I think we all feel on the team, for a really worthwhile multiplayer experience. The game is choke point city, which is fine for playing against AIs in setup scenarios, but when you're dealing with human opponents, I think it would become a deeply frustrating experience as things are. So therefore, Empires of the Undergrowth will never be a multiplayer game. Empires was our first development project, and early on, amongst all the kerfuffle of trying to run a Kickstarter and drum up interest for the game, and then finally getting something playable into people's hands in the form of both a demo, early access, and then a final product, multiplayer very much got left to the wayside, and that may be unfortunate, but at this point, to make something that really feels worth playing, we think we may as well start from scratch, and therefore that's probably what we'll do. At some point, we will move on to a new project from Empires of the Undergrowth, and there's a very strong chance that we will start that project with multiplayer in mind from the get-go. Probably the second most requested feature is movable queens. People quite rightly point out that in nature, ant queens are almost always very mobile. They move around their nest. They're not like termite queens, basically. The reason that the game is the way it is quite simply, we like the dungeon heart mechanic. Dungeon Keeper, if you've ever played that wonderful game or its sequel, has a mechanic where you have a central point that must be defended at all costs, otherwise you lose the game. We really like that idea, and we used it for Empires of the Undergrowth, quite simply. The levels are all designed and balanced around that single defensible point. The queens that do move in the game are not really queens in the sense of what that means in the game rules. They're regular colony or swarm creatures that just look like queens and have some animations. It's kind of a little developer trick. The game spawns two of these walking queens from the nests in Queen of the Hill just before you get the final attack wave. Rebuildable walls, this is another one. The reason we don't have rebuildable walls is we've been thinking about them for 10 years at this point, since we decided to give the game a tile-based digging system. The game rules dictate that every ant should always have a path to the queen. There'd have to be all sorts of clunky and interfering checks and kind of on-screen pop-ups saying you cannot build a tile here because ants would be trapped and be unable to get to the queen. All stuff like that. It's very inelegant. It would add a lot of complication and fussiness to the game. I guess there's a chance that we could do like a one-off extra level that had a special mechanic for it, just for that one level, but it would never be added to the game as a whole. And now it comes to why isn't X-Ant in the game? And I'll give the most common example, which is weaver ants. Weaver ants get asked about on a weekly basis, I'd imagine. And for good reason. They're a fascinating few species of ants, are weaver ants. Living in trees and on plants and building conical nests out of leaves. That is the main reason why we never considered weaver ants to be in Empires of the Undergrowth, because they live in trees and they build nests that aren't in the ground. For them, it's fairly simple. I have always said someone should make a game about weaver ants, but it's not Empires of the Undergrowth. But someone should absolutely do that. You can apply this logic a bit further to X species, honeypot ants, or whatever kind of ant lives near you. And there are literally thousands and thousands of ant species and only a few Empires of the Undergrowth developers. We have to be very selective when we choose species that we make. And it's not always just the species that makes us, choose to implement them. But it's not just the ant species itself. Sometimes we get inspired by an environment that we like. A good example would be the fourth tier. Those levels are there pretty much because we like pitcher plants and Venus flytraps, and that was the only logical place to set them. And then fire ants made sense because they're an invasive species. That's the justification for them to be there. But yeah, thousands of ant species, only so many developers, only so much time. And that concludes the last vlog of 2025. We look forward to 2026 and plenty of fun stuff coming for Empires of the Undergrowth. It would have been nice for this episode to have been filmed outside, but the weather is disgusting at the moment. It really hasn't improved much since the last time I tried to do a vlog. But I did say to Liam the other day that if we get some nice, pretty snow, and it's practical and safe for me to do so, I will try and film a vlog out in the snow over the next few months during winter, because that would be lovely. And cold, but lovely. I'll see you next time. Have a great rest of 2025. Enjoy whatever celebrations you're having, or if you're not celebrating anything, I hope you just have a nice chill time. And I'll see you next year for more Empires of the Undergrowth. See ya.